Alright, YouTube, welcome back to another review for the Apothecary Diaries. This time, episode 9 of season 1 Suicide or Murder. And I've already probably made the YouTube gods angry because I said two words that are probably not liked by the algorithm in the first 30 seconds. Before I start the review itself, as usual, I was going to say once again, as usual, you can watch the full reaction on Patreon right now for €5 a month. Um, Uncut and censored, unedited, picture in picture, that kind of deal. You don't have to sync with your own version of the show. And let's go to the review, I guess. Um, sorry, I still don't know exactly how I want to do my review, so if I change my speech on every review I do, it's because I don't have any prepared speech that I want to do. I like being more natural of, just saying what goes through my head at the time. Um, anyway, an interesting episode, um, which seems to like it seems like a lot of things are kicking into motion at a rapid pace suddenly because we're now getting actual investigations into serious matters of death within the rare palace. A lot of actual knowledge, like real world knowledge. Something that I ended up understanding before a bit before they explained it, but only because I know a little. Like for example, the fact that using ingesting too much salt can be really bad for you, especially for your heart. It can have a devastating impact on your heart if you're not careful enough. Um, and also, it can dehydrate you very fast as well. Um, but yeah, it's definitely so there was that. There was the whole like losing your ability to taste as well, which can have different causes. But in that case, it was an illness. Um, and we know of an illness that has caused that can cause this and is still going around, even if it's less talked about. Um, I wasn't expect affected that way by it when I quit it 5 times, weirdly enough. But yeah, um, but yeah, we are getting some actual investigative work. I mean, not from Mao Mao, who is very content with her role of medical expert. So it's kind of like it feels a bit like um imagine if you were watching something that is supposed to be a detective show, but only from the point of view of a medical expert that is called to give their opinion on any matter that arises. So you get like the gist of what's happening, of something happened to someone. You get the medical knowledge and like conclusions that the medical expert can give, or at least not conclusions, but like hints, I guess, and advices. You don't get the closure necessarily. At least when it comes to the first matter, possibly the second. I don't know. It feels like we might. I mean, wait, no, 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 no. The second matter might be resolved because the servant that died was at the garden party and might have seen what happened there, but she probably stayed silent because she was afraid of being killed, and it ended up happening. Like maybe she tried to, or like maybe she tried to blackmail. I don't know whoever tried to assassinate Liu. But yeah, someone's been working in the shadows, and apparently it seems to be potentially a duo's head lady in waiting. Um, but yeah, I find it interesting the fact that Mao Mao is not authorized to do autopsies strictly because she would use some body parts or as ingredients or like some body materials. I mean, when you're in a bind, you know it can help you, I guess, in some survival situations, but not necessarily as the rest of the time. But yeah, like things are getting really fast right now, so I don't know when we'll get um an answer to this, like a resolution, I guess, to this arc, because it feels like it's an entire arc that started during covert operations, potentially. Um, so like episode 5, and we're at episode 9 so far. So it feels like it's an actual arc that covers a specific, like basically like a series of incidents linked to one person, because we've had the assassination attempt against Lady Lishu, which was thwarted thanks to her. I mean, thanks, I guess, to her ladies in waiting switching plates to force her allergies. There's a matter of the eunuchs with burn marks. The recent uh, death by drowning. Um, like it's a series of events, and I don't know if we could potentially link also the first death of the episode to that, because I mean it still concerns spices, which is one of the thing that has been apparently a major like actor of everything here when it comes to poisoning and stuff. But yeah, I've not mentioned that, by the way, because I didn't really. It's not that I didn't pay attention to it, of course, but like I didn't find the time necessarily to mention that, and then I kind of forgot. But during the last like 6 minutes of the episode, or at least, wait, no, there's a scene that lasts about 3 minutes near the end of the episode that has some very interesting lightning choices. Um, that shade of basically like it's a kind of a reddish orange filter on the entire scene, with light coming, like the light of the setting sun coming from outside, that gives a very special um like a really very special tone to the entire scene, which of course also um is also kept by the dialogue of Mao Mao making some very specific uh request of Jinshi regarding like her potential execution and stuff if she ever fails in her job. And that scene with a really nice piece of soundtrack while remembering every bad thing that has happened so far in the Real Palace, which seems to be quite a lot, but I guess for that sort of place, it's to be expected in a way. And there's another like nice little piece of soundtrack that is played at the end as well. Um, like I'm definitely going to check the soundtrack for the entire show. I mean, the entire first season once I'm done with it, because there have been a number of nice pieces so far in it. I wanted to comment on something else and I kind of forgot. Yeah, that entire matter regarding like Mao Mao's request of Jinshi, Jinshi. But she is right that yeah, in that kind of world, it's kind of seen that way. That yes, commoners are at risk of being executed at any moment. But I'm guessing that Jinshi, which I am still on to that theory that seems to confirm itself more and more that Jinshi is the brother of the emperor. Um, like I'm guessing that he's not the kind of person who wants that kind of responsibility of life and death towards like the decision of life and death towards others. He doesn't seem the type. But as Mao Mao mentions and Gao Shun as well mentioned at the start of the episode, he seems to be dropping his facade a lot, like acting way more childish, way less formal as he's used to act as Jinshi. Because the way also Gao Shun says that, let me find the scene again. It's at the start. Um, the one known as Jinshi. That is a very specific way to say something, and like it's used for a reason. It's because it's. I mean, it's used in a very specific way, which means Jinshi is not his real word. His word, his real name, and yeah, it seems to be even more confirming my doubts about him. But it's also interesting because the things that he lists, the one known as Jinshi does not respond in such a childish way, which means that the one not known as Jinshi can respond in a childish way. So that's like his natural self. The one known as Jinshi does not attach himself so strongly to a toy, which means like yeah, it's basically his true personality breaking through. But yeah, the one known as Jinshi is a very, very special way to talk about him here. And yeah, it seems to confirm my suspicions even more. Which I'm guessing I'm probably far from being the only one who at this point is thinking that. Like it's such obvious hints that, like can be anyone has to be picking up on these. But yeah, I think I mentioned everything I wanted to in this episode actually. Oh yeah, there's the whole thing about like the booze and the age of drinking. Like, come on, as if anyone has ever respected the legal age of drinking anywhere. It's just a formality to prevent bars and whatnot to serve people who are not of the correct age. But in private, come on, everyone has broken that law or that rule. It's more of a suggestion, really. And yeah, uh, and yeah, Momo seems to be really attached to booze, which I guess it goes well with her like of poison because it's a poison in and of itself. No matter how you slice it, alcohol is at its core a drug and a poison at the same time. Like it's something that is not meant to be consumed. But um like for example, no wait, no, I was gonna say something, but no, it wouldn't work. It's something that is not meant to be that is not meant to be consumed. It doesn't mean that it will, of course, instantly kill you because we know that it won't. But in nature, it wasn't meant to be necessarily consumed. In what was it that I remember seeing? Hang on. It might have been I think it was a Randy Felt Face skit about um like the first time a human being, like the first human being to consume um a fruit that had started to break down into ethanol, because that has to be the way it was discovered, right? Like someone had to experience it by consuming a fruit that had started to rot. Not necessarily, no, not rot, but spoil rather a bit. And some fruits, when they start to spoil, they first break down into ethanol, so like pure alcohol, but mixed with the rest of the fruit, it's diluted and experience a buzz and decided to experience a bit with that. And with time, more we we discovered more and more techniques to refine that process, sometimes induce it, specifically to produce alcoholic beverages. Like there are ways to force a fruit to turn into something alcoholic. And also there are some people, like it's a kind of a rare, it's a really rare condition actually. But for some people, the simple act of eating a fruit will make them drunk because because the way their body works, or like their digestive system works, is that it breaks down immediately. It breaks down fruit immediately into alcohol. I don't know what the specificities are for that condition, if it's something in the acid or something like that. But there are some people, their bodies actually make turn fruits into alcohol. So if they eat a fruit, they cannot drive afterwards because it makes them drunk. It must be one hell of a life. But yeah, I think I covered everything I wanted to about this episode. I talked a lot more during the reaction, but I don't have anything more to add here because it was mostly like when I was trying to understand what could have happened during the different things that we saw. So yeah. So yeah, I'm going to end my review here. Once again, you can watch the full reaction on Patreon right now for €5 a month, uncut and edited, uncensored, anything you want. I mean, anything, not anything you want. No, you can't have a pony with it. But you don't have to sync with your own version of the show because it's picture in picture. So it's right there in the video. You get the show and my avatar. I was gonna say my face, but no, my avatar and the slime. The slime stays. I haven't decided yet on a name for a slime. I'm still trying to come up with one that would feel fitting. I have one in mind, but I'm a bit afraid to. I am a bit afraid to choose it for some reason, not only my own. So I don't know yet if I'm going with that. Once I'm ready to choose a name, I will probably say it at some point. I don't know where, I don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Sorry. Yep. And that's it. I guess I'll see you for next episode. Episode 10, Honey.